All right, we're here for round number three, and we have again won the die roll. So 3 for 3 in die rolls, pretty lucky. And this hand is interesting. I'm gonna keep it. So it's a little loosey goosey, but we do have. Hopefully, we can boon our opponent up, and you know, boon him up, Scotty. That's our plan for this hand. So looks like our opponent has also kept 7 cards, and yeah. Maybe we'll draw a 2-drop. That would be gasoline. Or like even an Elvish Mystic wouldn't be that bad. Yeah, hopefully our opponent's playing a strategy that's, quote, loose to Boon Satyr. Because, yeah, we're going to be, okay, Temple of Malice. This is probably Mardu Dragons. Let's see how they stack up to the Boon. I can't think of any other deck that will probably lead with a, we'll just play a Windswept Heath here and pass. Again, I don't really want to draw any more lands. 4 is enough for me. So, especially with a Nykthos in our hand, we don't need more lands. So I am quite content to just fetch and thin our deck a bit. The real reason for the fetch lands is become immense in our deck, but I'm not sure that we need a full 8 of them just to fuel become immense duress. Okay, well, we are losing our aspect of the Hydra. But duress is not a particularly powerful card against us. It's actually unfortunate that it even hit. A little unfortunate. We only have like 6 spells in our deck, I think. And yeah, hopefully Boon Satyr is good against our opponent, because yeah, get some boons for days. Bye bye aspect of Hydra though. Baby, bye bye bye. And our opponent is really taking his sweet time. Maybe he's like double queued or something. Come on, man. I just want to get my green beats on. You're gonna take all this time. That is a tilt. Bloodstained Mire. Alright, let's go ahead and fetch a Ruski here. Grab a forest if our opponent lets us. Alright, there we go. Okay. It's a card. I think we're just gonna Boon Satyr, but it's not terrible, I guess. Alright. And yeah, we'll just go ahead and jam a Boon Satyr out here, and it's probably gonna die, but oh well. Sweet, Den Protector's a good draw. We'll just send with Boon Satyr. See what our opponent does. What our opponent does here really is going to depend on what we play. Looks like they're just taking damage. If that's the case, our opponent could very easily have Bioblight. I'm not sure I really want to just expose ourselves to a Bioblight. I think I'm actually just gonna morph this Rattleclaw Mystic. I don't want to morph the Den Protector because I don't want to lose it to, a removal spell here. So we'll get the Rattleclaw out there, and that may throw him off a bit. And I feel like BioBlit's a very reasonable card that our opponent could have, so definitely don't want to just put out another Boon Satyr and get BioBladed. Our opponent's probably just playing red-black dragons, not Mardu. We probably would have seen a white land by now. I guess it's reasonable that he just doesn't have one, but I expect to see something like Thunderbreak Regent cast this turn. Okay. That was a pretty early concession. We had some good stuff coming, but still. Okay. So, let's see. Mardu style dragons. Well, we've played 3 rounds in a row against removal heavy strategies. So, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but our sideboarding is really going to be pretty similar to how we've been boarding in other rounds. Where I want to cut these guys, bring in these Rangers Guiles. Maybe Gather Courage, but I'm not sure because our opponent probably has like a lot of black removal, not necessarily red removal. So I think I'd rather just stick to the Rangers Guiles. And I could see like, I'm not sure how many Aspect of Hydras we want. Like I think I want to actually trim maybe even 2 Aspect of Hydra. And I'm actually going to keep these Servant of the Scales in this matchup because they're going to soak up, like our opponent probably has a lot of edict effects. They probably have self-inflicted wound, foul tongues, and stuff like that, and these guys are going to soak those up, so we'll actually keep those. I don't think the pump spells are that great. Ranger's Guile does protect our creatures though, so I'm more inclined to want to have a Ranger's Guile. That was kind of a weird game though. We played 2 cards and our opponent scoops. Sure, we'll keep this hand. It's not like the best hand, but it's definitely a keep. Bloodfeld Caves definitely gives away that this is definitely just straight red-black. And our opponent probably has like... and again, we're fetching here because we have enough lands. We don't want to draw more. Our opponent probably has Anger of the Gods. So that's something to be very aware of. We don't want to get wrecked by Anger. So like next turn I'm probably just going to play Swordwise Centaur and not this other Elvish Mystic. We'll see. Really depends on what my opponent does. Because Ranger's Guile doesn't really save any of our guys from Anger of the Gods, unfortunately. And Anger might be a reason that we want something like Aspect of the Hydra as well. But we will see what happens. Draw another land. I think I'd rather get in a point. I don't really want to use a Ranger's Guile on this Swordwise Centaur, so yeah, I'd rather just jam it out here, and if it dies, it dies. Also, keeping this back really gives away that we have a pump spell. I just hate giving that away, especially with a creature like this that I don't care about protecting. So, like next turn I can cast my Den Protector and hold open Ranger's Guile if I need to. I'd much rather protect a protector. Yeah. Well, but protecting the protector. Like Lightning Strike, Draconic Roar. Okay, so definitely dragons. Urborg. Swordwise Centaur number 2. Well, we don't really have that many great. Yeah, like I'll just send and play the Swordwise Centaur again. And this time we actually can hold open for Ranger's Guile. If our opponent has like another Draconic Roar, I think it actually counters the Roar if we Ranger's Guile, so that's actually pretty nice. Since it does only target a creature. Yeah, so we are going to Ranger's Guile here. I think that's going to prevent us from taking damage. It does, actually, because it completely counters the spell because it only has one target. But our opponent probably just jams this Thunderbreak Regent this turn, which is bad for us. Yep. Since we are at 16 and not drawing well. Yeah, I don't want to attack here. I mean, if our opponent just blocks, we just get wrecked. So, yep, no attacks. Next turn I can pick up a Guile, and we'll proceed from there. If our opponent has like a Stormbreath Dragon, we're basically just dead. Temple of Malice, okay. And puts a card on the bottom. And attacking us, okay. My guess is like there's another Thunderbreak Regent in the mix. Yep. Well, we're still going to just flip up our den, get back Ranger's Guile. Now we get to attack, hit him for a chunk. And unless he has another dragon, we're not dead next turn. This is only 8 damage and we're at 12, so you know, depending on with a couple of good draws, we could conceivably win this game. But our opponent's taking some sweet time. Probably just multi-queued. Alright. And Boon Satyr, perfect. It's actually a really good draw. I think it's just these two. I'm okay with my opponent. Like, I want to get one of these Thunder Breaks off the table, so I'm more than okay with my opponent blocking and then Boon Satyring whatever he blocks. Alright, no blocks, so we are just going to bestow a Boon Satyr onto this. And now our opponent is basically dead next turn unless we're dead. Which we probably are. There's probably a Kolaghan or a Stormbreath Dragon in our future here. But if not, this creature can't be blocked, and Ranger's Guile is able to pump it up to 8 power. A little risky in the face of potential removal spells, but something to keep in mind. We'll see what our opponent decides to do. Attack with a Thunderbreak Regent. Okay. So that's basically putting us down to dead next turn. But now the question is, how does our opponent survive our attack? And we'll find out here, I guess. Crux destroying all non-dragons. Okay. That would definitely do it. So now, regardless of what we draw, we have to probably, let's see, Reverend Hunter. Alright, well, let's play this first. Now, our opponent knows we have Ranger's Guile, and that just tells our opponent that we have potential access to killing them with Aspect of the Hydra as well. So we'll see if they block, and they do. If I just play the Reverend Hunter first, they don't have to block. Our opponent does not have to block. Ah, come on, block. I probably should have played the Reverend Hunter instead of the Elvish Mystic, actually. Okay. Yeah, I should have definitely played the Reverend Hunter instead of the Elvish Mystic. It would have been one size bigger. Now it's a 3-3. It would have been a 4-4, which could potentially be relevant. Alright, and hopefully we're not dead and that we top deck something great. Surak would be sweet. Let's see what this is. Anger of the Gods. Alright, well, let's Ranger's Guile our Reverend Hunter. And then Anger's going to resolve. So I did expect Anger, but there's also Crux too. Anger and Crux. A lot of Wrath effects for us. We have to. I think we have to draw either Surak. Yeah, we have to draw Surak because we played our. Yeah, Boonsader's not out anymore because we played the Reverend Hunter. We played the Elvish Mystic wrong instead of the Reverend Hunter. So we are on the Surak plan. Surak? Huh? Come on. Oh no. Alright, we're drawing dead. Yeah, we're dead. Alright. I had the Bioblade, didn't draw the Surak. Alright. Good to know about Bioblade though, so there's a lot of removal. Maybe Mistcutter is actually good against them, just they have so much removal. I really wish I had some plummets or something. How do we beat all this removal? Doesn't actually see. I think I'm gonna cut these Servant of the Scales, and I don't think Aspect the Hydra is what we want. Mistcutter seems good, and maybe Gather Courage instead of Aspect, or Become Immense maybe. Alright, we'll go with the Miser's Become Immense. We'll try to get him. And I'll play first and keep, but it's not exciting. Opponent is mulliganing. Alright, so yeah, we will just have to begin with a forest and a pass. And I bring in Mistcutter as just another creature against him. It's not like, it's just a big haste creature. It's not like it has protection from anything, but just a giant haste creature. And ooh, there's that Become Immense. Alright, we got a plan. There's Rattleclaw Mystic. It's probably gonna get Draconic Roared if I had to wager a guess. But if it doesn't, Surak comes out. Alright. it's safe to cast this Surak actually, just because I don't really know what he has. Like Draconic Roar doesn't kill it, Anger doesn't kill it. Um, so yeah, we're just gonna cast it, and hopefully it just doesn't die. I mean, he might have Hero's Downfall or something, but well, not off of that mana. What is this? Read the Bones. I like it. Both cards went to the bottom. Alright, I kind of want to protect Surak with Ranger's Guile. Well, that's a good draw. Alright, so we can cast Avatar the Resolute. Go to combat, give it haste. And then we get to attack our opponent for 7, 10, put him at 8. It's pretty good. And then I have a Mistcutter to follow up depending on what our opponent does. And if there's just a spot removal spell, we can Ranger's Guile it. Yeah, so we hit our opponent here for 10, put him to 8, and then Mistcutter per Surak is 8 damage. Guaranteed if we basically, if our opponent just does something like cast Anger of the Gods. We have this Become Immense to hopefully mise him out at some point, depending on how the game goes. Swamp. If our opponent's play is just Thunderbreak region here too, we have a cutter for 3 is lethal as well. So let's see. Okay. Interesting. Good draw. I kind of want to just Become Immense here actually. I think we just go to combat and attack. This is lethal. Our opponent's forced to react. And then we can just Become Immense. Anything that doesn't get killed. We can use Ranger's Guile to protect a creature. Become Immense something else. Alright, so declare attacks. Opponent might have something like Foul Tongue Invocation. Here's Downfall Surak. Well, Ranger's Guile. And that's probably going to be good enough to get the job done. But if our opponent does have something else somehow off of a mountain, I don't know what it could be, we can still Become Immense. Alright, opponent says good game, needed second black on time. Alright, so yeah, it looks like we have defeated our opponent in this round and are on to 2-1. We've played against a bunch of super removal heavy decks, and hopefully we can play against something more interesting in the finals or in the last round of this event, where we can hopefully go 3-1. And we drew the Become Immense, but didn't get to use it, which is a little saddening, but it is what it is. So yep, we're now 2-1, and looking forward to round number 4. Hopefully you'll stick around for round 4, where these little green creatures are going to try to thoroughly ranch our opponents.